Well, all right, everybody. JT here with you again, back in the studio, Studio 10-4 Live, and it is another edition of the weekly update. I got one lined up for you today with special guest James Gasper, and he's waiting in the outdoor green room today. Hopefully, he's got a good enough connection that we can make this work. We'll certainly give it a shot. In fact, I've got a bunch of information I want to share with you, but I'm not sure if I want to take any time to not be able to get James in here, and he's jumping his feed's jumping around pretty good. Let's bring James in. So James is coming into the studio with me right now. James, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, there you are. There you are. I'm doing good, man.
Do you have me?
Kinda. Kinda. Yeah, you're bouncing around. You're in and out.
It's we're out here kind of middle of nowhere, no service.
Yeah, I know. And it figures we go to do this now, and you had good service before, and now it's acting up, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the way it seems to go.
It does. It does. Well, let's try and do this, man. So, welcome to the show. Nice to have you on. And I mentioned this earlier. We didn't have Studio 10-4 live back in 2017, so you get your studio show like everybody else does now, even though it wasn't around. So we're going back in time. We're retroing you, man. Your grandfather.
There we go. Yeah, couple years late, but we're good, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Man. I had all this other stuff lined up, and I'm going to take advantage of the fact that we got you in here right now, and we're able to do this, man. So you're up at an old family homestead. Is that what I understand?
Yeah, we're up here in Modoc County at our property that we've been in my family for a long time, since the late 1800s. So up here doing a little bit of work, fixing fences. Back in 2017, a fire came through here and wiped out a lot of our timber and our fences and that stuff. So we're just finally getting around to getting stuff put back together.
Well, it looks good behind you, man. It looks nice and green, and trees look good. Everything looks good. So, yeah.
Thank you. We're real fortunate to have this in the family.
Kind of has that Yellowstone vibe to it, man.
Yeah.
Are you fighting the casinos or any developers in that area?
No, not currently. So that's a good thing, right?
That is a good thing. Well, everybody's probably kind of wondering, why do we got James on here? Well, the reason we got James on here is because I talked to him earlier today. I've gotten a lot of mileage out of your truck over the years. And I mean, since it was published, honestly. And that's kind of when I came on board to do what I do with 10-4 magazine, 2015, 16, 17, in that area. And is that Casey Dutton? Hey, Leslie, it's whoever you want him to be.
That's right.
I've gotten so many miles out of this truck, and that figuratively and literally you had. It just was such a popular truck, and here I brought this thing back, and there it is, and you got thousands, and this is just from Facebook. This doesn't include everything else, all the other posts through social media, but thousands of reactions, comments, shares. People just love this truck. I mean, if you were running this truck out there right now, just the way it was, it'd still be breaking necks, and I mean, here it is again, doing it on social media, man. And this picture right here, James, this one where it's on the ground, I've had more comments of guys, the guys that get it, they understand it, and then others are like, well, how in the hell can you haul a load like
that? I've heard that for years. My favorite is everybody seems to always think, they say, oh, that's a cool looking truck, but you could never get that where I take mine.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, you know what? Listen, there's and this is kind of a cool story. It was already a cool story when it was a cover truck story, but now this truck is been sold. It's down the road. There's a new owner. He's changed it and it turned it into a, and I call them, and a lot of people do, but I've always called what this truck became a two axle California cruiser, man. A two axle
Yep.
steer and drive, and it's a hay hauler, right?
Yeah.
And that
The new owner, he cut it down, made a little two axle out of it. It's, I shouldn't say little, it's still long wheelbase and looks just awesome. I love seeing it. I see it usually at least once a month. I see it going up and down the highway, so it's pretty cool to see what he did to it.
Well, you know what? I love the fact that it's still out there. It's kind of it's got a different identity now, but it's still that truck. So if anybody out there sees a truck look like this, but two axles, it's probably James's old truck. So
Yeah.
uh, give him a honk, give him a wave. You know, breaker 19, whatever you do to get somebody's attention out there, and you probably will. But there's something to be said about the California look, and this truck just exemplifies that look, and even more now with it being a two axle. I'd love to see. I wish this guy was coming to Trucking for Kids. I mean, are you coming by any chance? Are you going to be coming down?
I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm hoping so. I was wanting to come down to the drags and play around on the
Yeah.
strip a little bit with the new truck, but we'll see. I'm always kind of a last minute show guy. I never really make plans to go to shows, and it's just kind of, if it works out, I show up. I've never been much of a truck show guy. I just like to have a truck that looks cool going down the highway, but I always hate to get into a parking lot and have guys look at my stuff, you know?
Okay, you got to answer the riddle that we just don't have the answer to. How is it that so many guys wait till literally like last minute, may not even pre-register in time, but they'll get down there to the show and show up, and that's all we care about, honestly. But
Yeah.
it just works out the way it works out, or what? Or is there a strategy here?
Oh, no strategy. It just kind of seems like work is always number one, and
Yeah.
if it works out to where I can take a couple days and show up and go have some fun, that's great. If not, then we just keep working.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. That's a great answer, and that's so true. You got to pay the bills first before you can have fun. So, uh,
Absolutely.
and if you can get a load on the way down and a load on the way back, then you're really trucking, man. That's trucking.
That's even better. Yeah, if you can show up to the show with a load, then you're doing real good.
Our buddy Ron, he every year he's got a load of PVC on the back of that truck of his, and it never changes. It's like that's just automatic. So I expect if he's going to be there, Kelsey, shout out, buddy. You better come loaded with a load of pipe, or you're going to make a liar out of me. I want to take a second, say howdy to everybody that's tuned in. We got a good audience coming in today. Want to shout out to everybody that showed up. I want to take us back a little bit, and you can kind of give us an update of how some people and things have changed a little bit. Overall, my friend, you're looking pretty much the same there, buddy. Maybe
Well,
maybe
that's
a couple
I guess that's a good thing.
couple minutes older, maybe, but that's all. Not bad, not bad. Uh, I want to know
I
what
give that credit to my mother. My mother's a good looking gal. She passed down some good genes.
good genes are everything, man. It really is. Good
Yeah.
genes are everything. This truck could stand the test of time and be just as badass today as it was then, and still is. I mean, I'm just kind of blazing through a couple of these because we've seen some of them, but I want to get over here to the family. This I saw this today, and I want you to kind of start from your son up there in the orange shirt and work your way around names and how old everybody is now, except for your wife, because we don't want to get either of us in trouble on that one. So,
For sure. Well,
what do we got?
the kid there in the orange, that's my middle boy. That's Colby. He's 15 now, and he's actually standing across the meadow here waving at me.
All right,
And then
Colby, how you
yeah,
doing, buddy?
and then the one in the red, that's my oldest boy. That's Brody. He's 18 now, and he's graduated from high school, and they actually just took off here. They're heading back down the hill, heading home to the valley. Had his girlfriend up here, so it was nice. We get to spend spend a couple days up here with the whole family.
Is
And then
Brody
Lane,
driving yet? Is
oh
Brian is
yeah, he
Brody driving?
actually he got his Class A.
Oh man.
He's not driving necessarily for all the time, but he works for an outfit, little feed store, and he gets to haul a little bit of hay every now and then and do some deliveries, and so it's a good mix for him. I don't want to see him being young and stuck in a truck and out there over the road or nothing, but this is good for him to get some experience, and I think it's a good thing. I think it's always a good thing to put on your resume when you go to work somewhere, that you have a Class A and you can drive the truck that's sitting on the job site or whatever needs to be done.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man.
Yeah,
Daniel,
yeah.
Dan the man says, "Up, James." He's right
Hey,
there. I don't know.
what's up, man?
Can you see that there on your screen?
Yeah, yeah, I see it.
Okay. All right. All right. So now listen,
Yeah,
man.
and then
Who's the youngster with the stank eye
mhm,
going? Right? Who's that?
that is Lane. That boy is he's my youngest. He's a handful. He currently has a broken arm. Broke his
Oh,
arm for the second time in the last couple years. He fell off his pickup. He's 12 years old now, and he was working on his pickup and fell off and busted his wrist. So he's all casted up right now. But yeah, he'll be going into 8th grade.
oh
But
man.
yeah, no, kids are doing great. They're a handful, but we love them, and we're just having a good time.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. When I saw that picture today, I looked at that and I went, "That boy's got stank eye right there already." And however old he is there in that photo, he's just got it going. I bet he's just got attitude, right?
Oh yeah. He we love to point it out every now and then. He sees sees the picture, it pops up, or we actually have that up in the office, and he'll say, "What was I mad about?" And we say, "We really don't know, Lane. You're just kind of sometimes you're mad for no reason." So,
One of my girls growing up, and I wasn't there when this happened, but um, something happened. She got in, some one of her sister did something. She did something. Her attitude was sorries, like she's supposed to say she's sorry. She goes, "Ain't no sorries to me." It's like,
that sounds about like something that'd be said in my house. Yeah.
yeah, I'm thinking that kid's their soulmates or something going on
Yep.
there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh,
So, yep. And then, of course, my lovely wife. That's my wife Debbie in the picture there with me. And
Hi, Debbie. Good
um,
job.
yeah. I got to give her lots of credit. That's for sure. Somehow she puts up with all four of us boys and sticks around. I don't know how she does it, but she puts up with us.
Well, you are trucking, so you're not around all the time.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true.
Well, and as far as the boys, she's got the boys, says that they might be manageable. I don't know. And what's the youngest? What's his name again? In your arms,
Lane.
Lane. Yeah,
That's
Lane. Lane.
that's Lane. Yep.
There may be an exception with him, but I think the other two will probably
Yeah.
be pretty manageable.
Yeah. They're
Well,
we can handle them.
I loved this picture when I saw it today. I thought that's gonna be a lot to talk about right there. It's always fun to see the progression over the years of how things change and trucks and people and everything else. And normally I would do this on a Thursday. We have our Throwback Big Rig Thursday feature that we do now, but
Mhm.
it just kind of took off, when I reposted your truck again, and I thought, let's find out what he's up to, and I never got a chance to meet you. So uh, I hope that you're able to make it down and things work out. And we're at Famoso this year, right? That's where our new
Yeah.
location. Okay.
Yeah. I'm actually that's I think that's pretty awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing that. So, like I said, hopefully we can make it down. I think that's going to be pretty neat to be back there at Famosa.
Well, that's why I put the promo up the way that I did, and I said we're back at Famoso for the first time again. Hey, Dan has a question. He says to
Hmm.
ask you how you loaded the lumber for the photo shoot. So, what's the story behind that?
Well, I called in a favor over to kind of a local mill we have here, and and I asked them if I could get a good looking load of lumber for a little photo shoot we were doing, and so they set me up with that and nice load of 4x4s, and nice even load. But it wasn't quite good enough, so I brought it home, and I actually welded a big piece of I-beam to the bucket on my dad's excavator, and I spent probably a good couple hours just driving around that load unstrapped with that excavator and that piece of I-beam, and just made it as absolutely perfect as I could. I wanted every board straight, so I think I did a fairly decent job.
There's no way in hell that a trucker like that is OCD, is there? I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You can't. You know what, dude? You got it pretty dang good. I mean, I don't know how you didn't get the lines of the boards all the way down the trailer lined up, but I bet that bugged the hell out of you, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
They weren't quite lining up. No, it's. I was talking to Jeff Patello. I think it was last week or week before last when he was on the show, and we talked afterwards, and we got to talking about the OCD of show truck, guys that just love having nice stuff. And we're the same. We load our beer up in the refrigerators. The labels are all lined up, facing forward, and I've said that to 100 guys, and they've all shook their head. Yep. And I mean, it's just that's how it is, right?
Yeah. Kind of. It becomes a lifestyle. I think it kind of you just kind of become obsessive about all of that.
Oh, it is. And I was a builder for years, so of residential, commercial, and then trucks eventually. But the your eye just can't rest unless it's right, and it's just the way it is.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So Dan did a
I think I drive my kids crazy sometimes.
Well, you know what? My dad drove me nuts, but see, my eye looks for different things. His world was numbers. He was an accountant, so can you imagine that?
Oh yeah,
And
no.
He was unreal.
A whole different world.
Yeah, it is a whole different world. And the two of us, it was so funny because I didn't really, I didn't dig his world, and he didn't understand mine. And that's the way it was. It was just too big of a generation gap. But man, everybody in the family developed some kind of that OCD from him, and carried it on with them in their life. Nobody got away from that. Dan did an awesome job of lining these shots up, and then just the way everything came together. Where was this shot at? What's the lake in the background?
That's Lake Shasta. And that's a viewpoint, so you can pull up there and look at the dam and see the dam, all the water, the river, in the backside of the lake there. Lake Shasta.
Yeah, it looks great, man. Awesome shots. Awesome job all the way around. So I don't have anything to go on right now. Let me see if I might be able to dig it up. Oh shoot, I just lost something here. Oh well, I'll get back to that. You're on Facebook, right? Yeah, you are.
Yep, I am.
There you go. Where'd you go? There we go. I want to see, because I know, you got yourself another truck, obviously, and I didn't see a picture, but I think there's one of it on here somewhere. So what are you up to now? Are you doing the same kind of stuff and just running a different truck? And is this the truck you got into when you got out of the blue one?
So we were
that it?
Pretty much just hauling cattle. Not seeing it pop up on my end.
Not yet, huh?
Oh, there you go. Yep. There's my black one. 2022.
Okay. Good deal. All right.
Yep. So we're been doing kind of a little bit of everything, but I put together a cab over when I sold the blue truck. I had a 1980 352 that I've had for I think I had the thing for 18 years or something like that. I had it kind of as a spare truck for doing some local jobs I had every year. And when I sold the blue truck, I decided I was gonna rebuild it. So I tore it down to bare frame rails and put an E model cat in it and late model suspension, and bagged it, and it sat on 255s, kind of sat on the ground like everything I end up
Right.
driving. I never painted it. It had the original paint on it. It was a cool truck. It got a lot of attention from a lot of people. I think there's actually I think Dan took pictures of it when we did the shoot for the magazine. I think there were some pictures of it sitting out behind my shop. It's the black and
Let me
white.
see, because I've got some old ones.
Yeah,
Are
pretty.
we talking? Let's see. I've got this is the
There you
cab
go.
over. There it is.
That's it. Yep. That was before I tore it down. So, but we never painted it. We kept that paint job on it. I loved the original paint and the patina of it. So I ran that. I hauled cows with that for a couple years. Was running that thing all over. Shoot, I was hauling out to Texas with it, and just kind of having a good time with it. Ended up, what did I do? I can't remember why I ended up parking it, but I parked it and ordered the black truck. In 2021, just before COVID hit, is when I actually ordered the black truck, and put that thing together. Yeah, that's my next project. I've got that's sitting at home right now. My
I was
little
going to
narrow
say,
note.
is this on deck, or what are we doing with it? Yeah.
Yeah, I've been gathering parts for it over the last few years. I'm gonna do a body swap, put it on a late model chassis, and not sure what I'm doing for an engine yet, but just kind of slowly gathering parts. But I've got there's a 60-inch Mercury sleeper I have for it that's painted, matches it how it sits. Just a cool truck. My dad and I actually bought that thing when I was, I think I was probably 19, 20 years old. We went and picked it up, and he had big plans for it. We were going to make it a toter for his fifth wheel for his RV, and just never got it done. And Dad's passed away; he's gone now. And that's the if you go back to that excavator there, you'll see the I-beam I welded to the bucket. That was for straightening the load. So
That was your hydraulic fence.
that was yep, for sure.
That's funny.
So,
That's
but
awesome,
yeah, no,
man.
we plan on putting that narrow nose together hopefully in the next year or two.
Well, there must be something. So Dan probably put this in there to show how smooth that load was stacked using that I-beam. I'm sure
Yeah,
that has
yeah.
to be why he did that. Um, I want to know about this power wagon, man. I am an old Dodge head, so
Oh, okay.
especially
Well,
old power wagons.
that's that thing's got a neat story. I don't know if we have enough time to talk about that thing.
That's a whole nother show.
I'm actually sitting here right now at our property where that pickup sat my whole life. It sat on a jack stand, and it had an arm welded to one of the wheels, and it would sit there and idle and pump our well. That's how we pumped our well my whole life. When my dad was a kid, they actually had that thing set up, and they our property up here, guys would come up here and they'd pay to come hunt. It was kind of a little hunting
Yeah,
resort, I guess you'd say.
yeah.
And that truck, when my dad was a kid, they'd load the guys up in the back of that thing and take them up in the hills and let the guys go shoot their deer and drag the deer back to camp. So that thing's been in the family for a long, long time.
You know, these old power wagons, man, I'll tell you what. I had a 68. I bought it from a neighbor, and I had it for years and years and years, and sad but true, I had to let it go. And when
Mm-hmm.
I did, I wanted to just smash my foot or my hand with a hammer or something, just because it hurt my heart so bad. I wanted something else to take the pain away. It really was it was my dream truck. But
Yeah.
these old power wagons, and that 68 was a specific special year. That truck was one of a kind. The
Yeah.
67 doesn't look like a 68. The 69 doesn't look like a 68. The only one that
Okay.
looks
All
like
right.
a 68 is a 68.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
they're just very special and unique. And then these old power wagons like the one you got, I can't
Mm.
even tell you what they're getting for those things. And I mean restored. There's some real badass restorations out there that when they're all said and done, they're like $300,000 deal.
Well, this one here is a 1941, and it's kind of special because 41 and 42 was the only year that they had that sloped hood on them, and they actually only
Okay.
made that sloped hood from what I've researched. They only did it for about, I think it was 6 to 8 months. So that's an extremely rare year for them. And these ones here, I've seen them. It's been a long time since I've looked into it, but there was guys selling them in worse shape than mine, and they were getting anywhere from 10 grand to, I think I seen some guys were asking like 60 or 70 grand for them.
Yeah.
Just because you know, there's so few
Yeah.
of them out there anymore.
Well, and the hood, the raised letters on the hood, Power Wagon. I
Mm-hmm.
still have mine off of my truck. I took them off and kept them, and that truck had a 440 in it and 36-inch tires on it. God, that thing was a monster. Everybody called it the Great White Buffalo. That truck never got stuck once, ever.
Yeah.
It was always the one that people would call up and go, "Hey, John, I'm stuck. Can you come get me out?" And I guarantee
Come
that
and get
one of
me up.
yours is, yeah, that one of yours is the same deal right there, man. Same
Yeah.
deal. What
Yeah.
an awesome truck. Awesome story, too. I knew there was a story behind that truck. I couldn't wait to hear what it was from you. Um, yeah, you know what, man? We'll have to get you back on the show again and maybe put together some updated pics of the new truck, and then I'd love to see some of the old one if you ever get a chance, or that guy ever sent you any pictures of it. Love to get those and share them out there too, just to
Yeah.
see kind of what
Absolutely.
happened to it, what it looks like. So do you know Tanya Goodwin Huffman? Is that a friend of yours, or is she just on the show with us today?
I believe. I wish I could see the pictures on there.
I can
I'm
barely.
doing this from the phone, so it's so small.
Yep, I can't tell what that is either. I'm not sure, but I don't know. But Tanya Godwin, Tanya Godwin Huffman, and Tanya, hello, by the way. Thanks for coming out and hanging with us. She's been throwing a lot of comments out about full time 4-wheel drive on the Power Wagon. Probably not, right?
No, no, it has there's no locking hubs, but you can unlock the transfer case on it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Dan
Yeah.
said coolest well pump ever. So yeah, Power Wagon well pump.
Yeah,
How many of
it
those?
was pretty neat.
How many of those do you see around town? You just don't. So, um, let's kind of move on to what you're doing and what your business was like before, what it is now, and how things are going for you. I mean, what was going on before? Obviously, you were hauling lumber. That was what you were doing, but seasonally, you
Yeah.
probably moved some other stuff around too. And tell us a little bit about that and kind of where things are at now.
So back then we were mainly flatbed, and we had a couple other trucks going too. Had some really good employees, and we were pulling pretty much mainly for JDT. That's James Davis up there in Medford or
Oh
Central
yeah,
Point, Oregon. Yep, yep.
oh yeah.
So we had a really good relationship, keeping the trucks busy with him, and work was great. Um, and After I sold the blue truck, I started getting more into hauling cattle full time. It's something I've done for probably 18 years, kind of just seasonally hauled cattle, and I had the opportunity to do it full time, um, and kind of went that route, and have for the most part just been hauling cattle since then, up until probably 6 months ago. I sold my trailer, and just been kind of doing a little bit of anything and everything. I still have a flatbed, haul a little bit of hay here and there, haul some honeybees. Um, Done a little bit of reefer work. I've got a couple buddies with reefers, and I'll hook up to their trailers every now and then. Um, to be honest with you, I try not to work any more than I have to. I spent my life,
Okay.
working pretty consistently. You miss a lot of the kids growing up, and a lot of time with the wife, and I've kind of got to the point where I'm really trying to make family priority and work as little as possible. Um, but that's only good for so long when the checks aren't coming in.
Well, yeah, you gotta make hay when you can and while you
Yeah.
can. And you know what? No, your mindset's right on track. In fact, your buddy James, I talk to him uh, as much as I can whenever we run into each other. In fact, just as a heads up, everybody, we are going to be doing Studio 10-4 Live, the weekly update, in an upcoming edition at JDT down in Central Point. We're going to move the studio, go down on site and we do a little walk around, check out some trucks, talk to James and the rest of the team down there. That'll be coming up in an upcoming edition of the show. But last I talked to him, and this has been going on for years. That's why we never see James hardly ever. Is he's so involved with his family, his kids, and coaching soccer for the girls, and he's all in, man. He's all in, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
good. You guys got to do that.
Yep, no, that's for sure. He's definitely put family first, and that's awesome to see.
Yeah, no, if you can get yourself in that position, it's a great place to be in. Some of us have been in the spot where we get enough of a string of guys working with us that we can kind of put them ahead of us in rotation to work, and we'll stay back and do the office work and get the loads and dispatch and do all that, and then try to kind of hang with our family. So overall, I mean, as far as, let's go back, 2017. So what is that? 5, 6, 8 years. Are we in a better place? Did we? I mean, everybody went through hell in COVID. I mean, there just was no way around it. But are we in a better place now, or are we getting to a better? Where kind of things at for you? What's your thoughts?
That's a hard that's a hard thing, I guess, to decide. I mean, I would say there's a lot of things that are better now than there was then. Um, but there's also things, as far as work goes, I think work was better then for us. I feel like it was more consistent. Um, yeah, I mean, I like the position I'm in now, where I get to spend more time with the family, and I mean, you can see I'm sitting here at my property on a Wednesday. Um,
Yeah,
and don't have a
talking
care
to
in the
me.
world right now. We're my uh,
Yeah,
my my middle boy Colby. We're sitting here and just enjoying ourselves. We'll be here all week and just having a good time. And that wasn't as possible for me to do when we had the employees and the trucks and truck payments and just there was never an end to what the trucks
yeah,
needed. Um, Now there
yeah,
is, with the one truck now. Um, it's nice to have one piece of equipment, one piece of equipment that's paid for, which is awesome. That I can finally say that I paid off a new truck, so that
yeah.
was nice. And so it makes life, makes living life a lot easier. Um, but I think isn't trucking's not where I'd like to see it right now. So it's kind of nice to be able to step away from it as much as I can. I'm not sure if I want to completely step away from it. I don't think I'll ever be able to step away from it completely. It runs in my blood. I'm third generation
Right.
when it comes to owning trucks and doing that. Um, but yeah, that's a big topic to talk about. Where trucking's at right now.
Well, and in our conversation, earlier when we were chatting, we kind of got into, some of this, and I've had this conversation with a few other guests on the show as well. And hey, by the way, want to say howdy to everybody. Dennis, good to have you on, buddy. Dennis Mitchell, our pal and contributor to 10-4 magazine. Driver et, what's going on with you? Brandon, what's going on with you? Okay, tradition is, James, you got to say howdy to Brandon. So give Brandon a shout out, would you?
Brandon, how are you doing?
There you go. There you go, Brandon. Brandon will be at Truckin For Kids. He's our official, unofficial Truckin For Kid.
Right on.
Yeah, he'll be there, man. Um,
We'll
our
look forward to hopefully seeing him.
Well, you know what? I probably not half as much as he hopes to see you. Trust me. So get yourself down there so you can satisfy that young man.
For
Um,
sure.
our conversation, had to do with how people are acquiring work and keeping themselves busy, and it's look, it's a process. Not everybody is, first of all, not everybody's third generation trucking. Okay, there's a lot of guys that are just starting out, and I've seen them all, and so have you. Where it's all kinds. Guys just starting out, guys maybe stepping in with a friend, some family brought them in. However they got into it. I mean, I've seen guys put up their entire retirement buy a truck and go into business and go broke. So it doesn't always work out. That being said, you know, those are the guys that usually are relying on brokers. Now,
Yeah,
I think
that
we all are guilty of that. But I mean, what's your thoughts on? Is there a solution out there? And I have mine. I stand by it. But is there any way to make this work so we can get that money out there? And listen, I don't want to put anybody out of a job, but at the same time, I don't want to get put out of business sustaining somebody else who's just standing there taking money from me.
Well, that's the thing that in the last couple years for myself, I've seen a lot more of brokered loads. We've had to haul more brokered loads, and that's something that I never experienced. For the first 15 years of myself trucking, being an owner operator, we always worked either with direct with people, or we had good customers, or for example, us working with James Davis and getting to work with he had just great customers that he worked with, working direct for the local mills. And it's a lot harder now. These brokers have got their fingers on, it seems like, almost everything. um, and and I have no problem. I mean, I think there's definitely room for brokers. But the problem is, you find out more and more how much these brokers are taking off the top, and these guys making better money off a load than I am hauling it. And I'm the one who's putting out the fuel, the insurance, the purchasing the equipment, putting out here, being away from my family, doing the hard labor of it. I appreciate the work the brokers are doing, but it's hard to find. There needs to be a better balance. I think more clarity for us to see what's really going on, what the numbers really are.
Yeah,
Because I think a lot of these loads that are being brokered are actually, they're good paying loads. Uh, we just never see the good pay.
yeah,
Whoever's shipping these loads, they're paying good money to have their loads shipped. Um, but a lot of it gets put in somebody else's pocket. Somebody else is getting that money before it gets to the guy that's actually working hard to provide a service of transportation.
yeah. How many hands did it go through? These are all very much the same conversations I've had throughout the years with others, and that is, transparency. Well, let's you can step it all the way back to the 80s and the late 80s when trucking was deregulated,
Hmm.
and that pretty much created a license to steal, as we all say, because the the books that used to be out there that would, the rate book was just basically lit on fire
Yeah.
and burned. It was never to be used again. So bottom line is, yeah, transparency would resolve this 100%,
Yeah.
and and change the way that everything goes. I mean, whether it's fuel surcharges or any kind of other money that would come in to offset any higher cost of doing business during some kind of a economic emergency or otherwise, none of that stuff usually ends up coming back to the driver, at least in
Yeah.
my experience, and it sounds like in yours too. And then the other thing is, the brokers are taking their quote, deserved percentage, which may be 8%, 10%, whatever, it is. But
Yeah.
then the key words to that is, everybody listen and make sure you understand this. If you're the guy that's never done this before, or you're just getting into it, you need to know what adjusted gross means. And if you don't, adjusted gross means that that broker's taken whatever the full pay of that job is and adjusted it to your knowledge. If it was $100 an hour and he changed it to 65, well, that 65 is the adjusted gross, and that's what he's going to take the 10% that he's taking for his broker fee off of. But he still gets that other money as well. It's just really not right.
And that's
So
that's what you see a lot of that happening is, and a lot of people don't understand that. They say, oh, guys think, well, they're taking their fair percentage. Well, that's fine. Take your percentage and all that. But the problem is when you see them taking, money off the top before they take your percentage, and, you'll see a load that should pay 2 grand, and, they they'll put it out there for $1,000. Well, they take $1,000 right off the top before they even take their 10% off of the $1,000 that's left, and
Yeah.
it's just it gets sickening sometimes. Well, I mean, it's sickening every time you find out about it, and you just get a bad taste in your mouth, and you have a feeling that it happens a lot more than it should.
Well, and Dan, of course, it sounds gross to me. It is gross, Dan. It
It
really
is.
is.
Yeah.
Rob Bassey, what's going on, buddy? Good to have you on the show, and April and Julie and Sharon as well. Good to have you guys all on here. This actually could be a whole nother show too, and I wanted to get your take on it. But bottom line is, if guys got together, my dream was always regionally that there should be co-ops
Yeah.
created amongst the owners and drivers to protect themselves. Now,
Well,
when
I think these a lot of these brokers, they just have too big a reach.
yeah,
Nothing is local anymore. Everything is you're dealing with a broker who's sitting on the East Coast, and he's moving a load that might move from California to Nevada. I mean, he has no idea, the area it's coming from, going to. I mean, everything. This it's too big, is what it comes down to. There's no longer, I can't take care of my local customers, or really serve my local area. Um, we're all working for somebody who's from out of the area,
yeah.
and it makes it difficult. You can't have a relationship with customers anymore. There's just no relationships left to be had, it feels like.
Well, I think that the guys out there like James and other operators that can do good things in the industry and take care of guys and treat them right, as well as you guys individually too. And I'm speaking to everybody individually that owns a truck, that is an owner operator, or a fleet, small fleet, however you want to categorize yourself. Um, you guys need to talk to one another and protect each other. I mean, look, it's something that has needed to happen for years and years and years and years. Sharon Jones said just a minute ago, been that way for 40 years that she's been at it,
Yeah.
and so it's not a new problem. But criminy, you think that at some point it would change. Now, again, hey, I don't want to put anybody out of business, but at the same time, I'm not going to keep somebody in business because of unfair trade practices. It's just not right,
Yeah.
and I've
Yeah.
known some brokers, and they've had some huge fat wads that they carry around and brag on. And listen, man, you know what? That was made on the sweat of a trucker out there like yourself and all the other ones out there that were just barely getting by hauling that load.
Oh yeah.
Um, so at some point, and again, don't have the answer or the I guess the ability at this point. All I can do is voice the thought and the opinion, and maybe it goes somewhere. And I hope it does at some point for everybody out there to get, a better deal, if you will.
For sure.
Um, well, James, thanks for the time, man, and it worked out really good. It only broke apart a couple of times, and all in all, went really well, man. Thanks for making this happen today.
Yeah, well, thanks for reaching out to me, and yeah, let me come on. I'm
Yeah,
glad it worked out. I'm very surprised that it worked out with the service I have up here, but good
hey,
times
it was meant to be, buddy. It was meant to be.
for sure.
Yeah. Well, listen, lastly, I want to say we all at 10-4, and I know you heard this when you became the cover truck of uh, 2017, and it was July or August? July?
July. Yep, July.
July 17. I didn't get to say it, but welcome to the family again.
Thank you.
Once a 10-4 cover trucker, always a 10-4 cover trucker. We all really hope we get to see you, and it works out that you can be with us at Truckin For Kids this year, which is coming up in a matter of days. In fact, everybody stick around. I got updates on Truckin For Kids to go over with you. But I appreciate you coming on and sharing the update in your life, and making things up in front here with everybody. Dan's like, oh, 8 years ago. Holy crap.
Yep. Yep. Time flies.
It does, man. It really does. Congratulations on your success and more to you going forward. I hope that we see, better increase in rates as always, but that you at the very least get what you deserve for what you're doing, man. Just
Absolutely. Yep.
keep trucking and hang in there, and we'll talk soon. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your week. Bye
Yeah,
now.
we'll do. You too. Bye bye.
All right, everybody. Great having James on the show, and appreciate him taking the time out to be here today. And yeah, it was just amazing that it worked out because, like you said, he's in the middle of nowhere up there, and literally just uh, holding the signal and keeping it steady for what we're doing is even harder than just picking the phone up and having it work. You can get a text out, you can get a call out, maybe, but we actually got the show to you today. So absolutely fantastic. So let's talk some TFK, man. First of all, Truckin For Kids 2025. Let's get on over to the screen here that is the most important right now for us. Everybody, hopefully you can see it. Sharon, they moved your surgery up to May 19th. Well, listen, hey, Sharon, this is for you then, darling, because first of all, best of luck and results to you for your surgery on May 19th. We'll all be saying a prayer for you. I want everybody to remember that. And I got plenty of live streaming to be doing from Truckin For Kids, so you can check that out. All of you that aren't going to be able to make it to the show will be live streaming again this year from Truckin For Kids from Famoso. Let's go to the website, 104magazine.com is where I'm hanging out right now. And there it is, the flyer for the 44th annual Truckin For Kids. Famoso Drag Strip, Bakersfield, California. If you haven't registered yet, what are you waiting for? Here it is. Click there to register and get it done, because there it is. 10 days, 20 hours. Oh, Dan, plug your ears. La, 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 la. 10 days, 20 hours, 10 minutes, 40 seconds. There it is. Things you guys need to be kind of paying attention to is that if any of these on here state that day of the show, price of admission goes up, you need to be aware of that. Okay. So like RV for the weekend, that means Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 160 if you pre-register. You can save $40. Man, how many, beers, sodas, bags of chips and dip and salsa, whatever does that buy? Well, it buys a bunch. So get yourself in at the 160. Any of the others along here as well that have any price changes, if they're noted, then be sure to be aware of that. But prices, right here is one, Bobtails combos. Anyways, pay attention, know what you're doing. Bottom line is this: get registered now and get it done, and that way we know everybody that's coming, and we can plan accordingly. So we love to have you, especially you guys are going to be out there show and shining, and of course the drag guys on Sunday, Saturday night. In fact, let me get to that in a minute. We'll get to kind of the events and how that's going to work out. But I want to make sure you guys can see all this. I want to take a minute and I want to mention some folks too, because it's real important that I do and that you know who they all are. So our bucket sponsors, get registered, show and shine guys. If you're the first 200 to get registered online, you're going to get the bonus bucket. Time to Shine. Want to thank them. Bull Snot, Zephyr Polishes, Sick Rigs, the old Coliva family there. Love those guys. Stay Loaded, 4 State Trucks, A&L Truck Supply, GGE Products, Shriners Children's Hospital, 104 Magazine, and the TFK official program. Those are all the sponsors that are putting items in that bucket so far. There may be more at the point that those buckets are handed out when you get there to the show, but right now that's what's happening. Our drag lane sponsors, welcome back Vitello Custom Trucks and 4 State Trucks. Thank you guys for being there. And so far, I think it's a couple, 3 years or so since we've taken over. I think it's been the same guys every year there, Jeff and Brian, respectfully, of their business of Batella Custom Trucks and Four State Trucks. And then our auction raffle donations, Dane Nelson Bug Shields, Jeff DeLacy. That's the guy that makes those wood trucks, man. Uh, those are one of a kind items. I would love to have one of those. Valley Chrome Plating, Toys for Trucks, Hogue Built, West Coast Foam, Magini and Son, Trucking. Thank you for the Magini and all the stuff that they do for 10-4 Magazine and Trucking for Kids. Man, couldn't do what we do without you guys. Thank you so much. RLK Services, Spare Time Fab, Pickett Custom Trucks. Yeah. Four State Trucks again in there. Lifetime and Diesel Plates and Permits. So on these auction items, guys, the way that it works, you buy tickets, you put a ticket or as many as ticket as you want into that item's little cup or bucket or whatever is in front of it, and that gives you that many more chances to win. So if you buy 20 tickets and you see one thing that you want, then you're going to put all 20 tickets in that one bucket, or you're going to buy 50 tickets or 100 or whatever you buy and spread them all around. Maybe you got 2 or 3 different things you want. The more tickets you put into that item that you want, the better your chances are that you're going to win it. So that's how it works. The idea being is we want to get as much money as we can out of these items. They're all donated, but the bottom line is all the money we collect that you buy, the tickets, all that money goes to Shriners Children's Hospital. So get that as part of your deal and get a bunch of tickets, man. Also want to say thanks to the Algori family for their cash donation. And listen, you can make cash donations as part of what you want to do if that's what you decide, how you want to give back to Truckin For Kids and help to help us reach our goal of the goal we've set every year to donate to the Shriners Children's Hospital. Cash donations can make that happen. So let us know if you want to help in that sense. Next up, vendors that you can count on being there at the show: Valley Chrome, Fletcher's Diesel Service, Toys for Trucks, West Coast Foam, Sick Rigs, Zephyr Polishes, HD Shocks, Sensi, Stay Loaded Apparel, Five Rivers Truck Parts, Barachos Apparel, A&L Truck Supply, Pickett Custom Trucks, GGE Products, Cost Per Mile Tire, Diesel Plates and Permits, Northgate Cargo Control, Align Tech, 10 Lug Mafia, and Shriners Children's, of course. And that's it so far. So if you haven't gotten back to our guys and we've reached out to you, then please give us a call back and let us know what you're doing. If you want to be a vendor, because we're getting close. I mean, really close. By the way, online registration does shut down next Tuesday. And I believe that's a Tuesday at midnight. So that's when you want to get registered by if you're coming out to the show to be considered pre-registration. So get that done, everybody. That being said, let's take that on down and bring me back in here. Thanks to everybody for tuning in today. Appreciate it. And thanks to our guest, James. Great story. Great to get caught up. It never fails when you reach out and you get the opportunity to talk to one of these guys and see what's going on. So far, we've had some great follow-ups and great stories, and I've really appreciated it. And again, that was definitely today's case with James and catching up. It's been 8 years since his photo shoot for the most part. And back then, we didn't get the chance to talk about it because we got involved in so much other conversation. But hey, Jeff, have a great evening yourself, buddy. Thanks for coming out and being on the show as always. Appreciate it. Eric was on that photo shoot back then, and Dan brought it up. that Eric had cut his hand before they had even got to the photo shoot. So he was not able to really participate a lot during that shoot, but he was there. Sharon, thanks a lot, honey, and you do well and take it easy. Get your strength up and get through that surgery and be back for us after that. But you can watch Truckin For Kids right from your home and phone, on TV, whatever you want, as long as you can log in. You got it. Everybody else too, thanks for dropping by. Appreciate it. Brandon, we'll see you shortly, my friend, at Truckin For Kids, along with everybody else. But I really love doing these follow-ups, and like I said, normally we would have done this tomorrow, but I think we deserved more time with James, and also there was a lot kind of going on with him and this truck and the story and everything that would have taken more time than we normally give on a Thursday. So appreciate it. All right, everybody, listen. Tomorrow we will do our throwback Big Rig Thursday. I'll dig something out for you guys and we can share it. And then Friday we'll have our Friday drive-by and kind of sum up what's going on, of course, what's happened this week, what's coming up this weekend. And everybody knows, I'm sure, that 75 Chrome shop truck shows going on there in Wildwood, Florida. I've already seen pictures and video and different stuff going on from different people. So it's definitely happening. Apparently there's some weather, but hey, you know what? You never know, right? I mean, it is Florida. It could be hot, could be rainy, could be both. We'll see, I guess. So either way, it's just water if it does rain, and I'm sure they'll get through it and everything will be fine. But Truckin For Kids, the one thing I didn't go over, I'm going to bring that up real quick, and that is our schedule. And you can get this on our Facebook page at Truckin For Kids or at 10-4 Magazine, either one. I posted it on everything, our group. There it all is, letting you know what's going on. Things can change, but for the most part, this is what we're using to stick with right now. It's what we got out there for everybody. Make sure you follow along on the program. Try to get in there Friday and Saturday. Those are the 2 days to come in, get parked, get staged, get set. Vendors, show trucks, drag trucks, you're able to come in on Sunday, but we'd like to get everybody else in there Friday and Saturday. All right. If you haven't got a hotel room, get it done. Chris, yeah, buddy, maybe you might have one to Kenworth. I don't know. We'll check the drawing and see what happened. Okay. Till tomorrow, everybody, keep the shiny side up. Stay safe out there, and thanks to everybody for tuning in. We'll catch you later.